Different voices in the Arab world and in the world in general claim that Palestinian terrorism is a result of occupation, settlements, and oppression. But could it be that it started long before that? Here is the Arab Mufti in a meeting with Hitler in 1941. The topic: the plan for exterminating the Jews. So when did the conflict truly begin? And when did Arab aggression towards Jews came into play? For many, the year 1920 marks the beginning of the Jewish-Arab conflict for the land of Israel. During this period, on the Arab side, which was comprised of a scattered and unorganized community, a new sentiment began to emerge, a sense of nationalism. The new landlords after World War I, the British and the French, take away some of the privileges that were customary under Ottoman rule. Furthermore, waves of Jewish immigration prove that Zionism is a true and rising phenomenon. In April of that year, on the holiday of Nebi Musa, also known as Moses the Prophet, the crowd becomes frantic and bloodthirsty. This behavior is fueled by Amin al-Husseini, the future prominent Arab Muslim leader who declares, "Palestine is our land, and the Jews are our dogs. Religion of Muhammad shall arise by the sword." This religious fanaticism, in the name of Islam and Muhammad, will characterize all future acts of hostility. And indeed, in 1920, it works like a charm. The crowd marches in the name of Allah with cries to slaughter the Jews, and the Jews were slaughtered. 6 Jews are murdered and 211 injured. Rapes and looting occur. Settlements and communities across the country are abandoned and destroyed. A year later, in further riots, 47 Jews are killed and around 140 injured. In 1922, Amin al-Husseini already becomes the Mufti, a high-ranking Muslim religious leader who preaches on fundamentalism, and thus the confrontation escalates. Another cruel wave takes place in 1929. 133 Jews are killed and 339 injured. A deep shock is felt worldwide when it becomes clear how the Arabs slaughtered infants in Hebron in front of their parents' eyes, tortured, burned, and raped those who were their close neighbors for many years. Fast forward to 1936. The Great Arab Revolt takes place, a rebellion with a political character and a defined agenda against British rule and Jewish settlement. The goals of the revolt demand Palestinian nationalism, the establishment of a state, and complete territorial control without Jews or British. During the revolt, over 400 Jews are killed. Many settlements are destroyed, evacuated, or abandoned. Simultaneously, over 5,000 Arabs are killed, with the vast majority not by British or Jewish bullets, but precisely due to internal disputes over leadership, assassination of rivals between factions. In 1937, the British realized that something needs to change and establish the Peel Commission. The committee acknowledges the historical right of Jews, blames Arabs for violence, and suggests, like countless committees and commissions to this day hold tight, to divide the land into 2 nations, Arabs and Jews. In the report, there is a British saying, "Half a loaf is better than no bread." The British are convinced that this is a deal worth making for everyone, even though only 20% of the land was supposed to be given to the Jews. The Jewish settlement is willing to consider. The Arab side strongly rejects half a loaf, and the attacks resume. In response, the British react, and their soldiers suppress the revolt. As a result, tens of thousands of Arabs flee the blood-soaked area. The Arab leader Amin al-Husseini, who encouraged further riots, escapes from the mandate to Lebanon, but he continues to incite and repeats that Jews have no right to exist. And no, it's not just ideology, because he has a concrete plan. He hoped that complete Jew extermination would be carried out by the Nazis, with whom he had close ties since early 1930s. Remember the Arab Mufti meeting with Hitler from the introduction? The Mufti writes in his diary that Hitler promised him that he would lead the Arab force when Nazi Germany reaches Palestine, and all the Jews will be exterminated. So what did we have between the two world wars? The conflict turns violent, and horrifying acts of slaughter are committed by Muslim Arabs in the name of religion. A camaraderie between Arabs and Nazis is established, and rejection of compromise proposals for the partition of the land from the Arab side. Today, with a perspective of a little over 100 years of terrorism, it is not difficult to ignore the irony of the place where everything began, the burial place of the prophet Moses, who demanded, perhaps most famously in his speech, "Thou shalt not kill."